Hi everyone, it's Bunny. I will read another Quora response, and this one is what are the advice from matured ENFPs to younger ENFPs? So I am 37. I'm turning 38 this year, and someone asked me to answer this question on Quora, and so I'm honored, and I know that my life experience and insights hopefully can help people who are ENFPs or want to better understand ENFPs in their lives. So I start with understand that your appraisal of time, success, connection, goals, purpose, and fun will be misinterpreted by most people in your life. With time, knowing that you are excellent at brainstorming and starting projects, do not hesitate too much to begin. Each time you start something is a chance for you to connect your knowledge and life experience so that it can be more efficient and closer to a larger goal next time. I describe how extrovert intuition is. It's like a big constellation. It's a map. It is a universe of thought that gets bigger and bigger. More thoughts, more connections, more future orientations, and more possibility. That is how we tend to think. And it's expansive, it's divergent, it's based on novelty and combining similar things that we have in our mind or periphery and then forming into something new. Kind of the definition of creativity, right? Creative problem solving. It's a gift. It's truly a gift, and that's what makes us good at brainstorming. When we're excited and we're kind of connected to the idea in some way or the person that we're brainstorming with. That helps us start projects because it's about that big rush in the beginning, the adrenaline rush, excitement, starting something new, yay, novelty. And then we start to lose that energy really fast and we slow down. And then we do nothing in the middle, and then we start wrapping up towards the end when the deadline's coming up. So that's something to take note of, okay? When we're doing stuff in school, we may have a harder time completing things if we don't have the guidance, if we don't have the structure. So if you're a parent, a loved one, a teacher of someone who learns like we do, please give us the structure. Please guide us to develop those executive functioning skills by scaffolding and using our strengths to just learn how to be more structured, but also give us freedom to brainstorm because we know that's our strength. Please give us the opportunity to nurture our strengths first, then we can focus on what we need to do to be more structured and meeting a deadline or doing something a little bit more quickly, because working in groups or teams or corporations, timelines are not always supportive or the best thing for an ENFP to work with. It actually can fight against us if it's the timeline is too long. So we work better with shorter goals and shorter timelines. And again, it's like a big map, right? So the more stuff that we're learning, the bigger and full the map is going to be. It's like little buckets everywhere. But the greater culture doesn't really understand what we're doing because we have no output. They think that we're lazy. We think that we're not accomplishing anything. But it's inside. It's internal. All the thinking that we're doing, all the map making and connections that we're doing is internal. So it is kind of unfair that nobody gets to see what we're doing because it is inside. So just have faith and keep going, or else you're going to stagnate your growth. You're going to stagnate and kind of have this self-fulfilling prophecy that they were right. They're not right. They just don't understand you. Keep learning until the connections are being made, and then you'll slowly create more things, more tangible outputs of showing what you're learning, showing what your competence is, what your values are leaning you towards. So keep going, don't stop. In reference to time, since we do procrastinate, be honest with others and the reality of your promises. That means shorter timelines, shorter goals, and no promises unless you know for sure that you can get it done. It also means to learn to trust others. Collaborate with them and be open to adapting the plan slightly to work with someone who can help you become more successful. This is maybe related to our stubbornness sometimes. We like to do things on our own. We like to make mistakes because it's about learning and novelty and being independent. And even if it is mistakes, you want to make it yourself because it's a life story, it's a memory. And other people may not think the same way. I know they don't think the same way, so be open to learning when it's time to compromise. Let other people kind of guide you and also know when like, no, this is, I'm being firm with this, I'm okay with the mistake, I want to do it even though it is a mistake. It's important to nurture these relationships because in the end it is us and other people and the memories that we have with them that matters too. And I'm going to reiterate, shorter timelines, shorter goals, no promises unless you know for sure that you can get it done. Because again, if people can't trust you, if like you lose your focus, prioritizing things differently, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, I didn't do it. People start losing trust in you and they might, stop thinking about you. You may lose a relationship that is important, or you might lose a network or referral that could help you be more successful in the future. And they might not see your potential, but like as if you keep on honoring the team, the dynamic for a while, they might give you a chance to kind of lead and do things your way too. Another thing about time, we're impulsive. Slow down and check yourself before spending all that money or drunk texting an ex. It does get easier with age. Meditate and find other ways of slowing down, especially when we make emotionally charged decisions. So, slowing down is super important. We have all these ideas and connections, especially when you're younger. Your extrovert intuition is all over the place. You're silly, you're charming, you want to be like the most popular person in the room, but also at the same time you want to observe and be in the back in the corner hiding, observing people, judging people, trying to tinker with them and figure them out, or understand how your role is in the space. So many different reasons for why we interact, right? And one of the things we do is we're impulsive when we're emotionally charged or energized in a space, in the moment. We may make really important decisions when we're super excited. So please, like if it's about like buying a house or a really big buy, or choosing to commit with someone, landing a certain job or jumping around, like quitting school or quitting a job, please take the time to slow down. You can do a pro-con sheet. You can consult with people who you think are more level-headed, more grounded at the time. I know I'm a grounded person, right? As an ENFP, I consider myself a grounded person, and yet it has taken time to develop observations, being okay with having people tell me how to do it, observing them, asking questions, picking their brain. You can get there too. If other people are more grounded, observe them, see what makes them tick, and see if you can adopt it too and make it your own. There's no need to be a copycat of somebody else. You can always pick and choose what you admire and want to kind of adopt into your own being and make it your own. Of course, it's important to make it our own. We are individuals. We want to be unique. So yes, try to find a way to make it for you and in your own flair for something. Let's see. Yes, impulsivity is super important. So check your energies on that. What makes you go up and down when you're crashing? Very important. With success, we value exploration, creation, whimsy, joy, adventure, knowledge, compassion, and championing for the underdog. That's what makes us thrive. This does not always make sense to others, and it doesn't always make money, and yet we're happy. So you'll have to deal with, perhaps for the rest of your life, people telling you you're living wrong. You'll be feared into settling for retirement plans and health insurance for a 40-hour work week where your heart slowly dies. So I exaggerate this response right here, and yet it's kind of important for us to follow our values and live kind of on the edge sometimes, where we're kind of in the realms of safety and money, but also novelty and pushing for something stimulating and championing for a cause, because we need to have purpose. Our identity and work are so important that it needs to be infused with our work and what we choose to do, because it's not just a job. For most of us, ideally we would want to do something that helps the world or champions a cause that we would help some type of underdog or misrepresented group, and that's different for all of us. But again, it's just something to think about. It is something to think about. Most people won't understand. So like, if we internalize that message that we're wrong, it stops us from growing. Like I said before, with the practicing and doing until it becomes more efficient. If we believe there's something wrong with us, we're going to stop growing. One of the main messages of what I share is to keep going So you have like a thicker skin, a thicker barrier between you and the outside world they don't understand you. They're not going to get you. So keep going and protecting your heart, protect your energy, protect your space so you can thrive and be your best self. And that part of it is by rejecting the things that are harmful to you, the things that people are saying that don't help you grow. Okay. So here's my other note on success though. Happiness and financial stability can be achieved by the idealist. Sometimes you can live to support your joys, and sometimes you will be able to do both at the same time. Having money to survive is not a bad thing. Having money is not the enemy. Throw away the stereotype of the starving artist and the broken wanderer. You can be successful, financially stable, and honor your values. Super important, because you are not a caricature. You're your own individual among a collective of people who may think or process similarly, but we're not all the same. We're different. There's just certain things that overlap with correlation of how we experience the world and how we want to be understood. So like, you can be an idealist who makes money. You can be a wealthy artist. You can be a wealthy creative. You can be a wealthy healer. You don't have to do things for free. It shouldn't feel bad to have worth. You can find a way to survive and even do more than survive. You can thrive on your gifts. Please believe that and like push for that. And if you can't, you can find this balance of, using a normal job to support your interests, working 40-hour work weeks, but then like in your free time, finding joy, using that money to pay for like art supplies or some whatever interest that you have to make sure that you have that balance of joy and nurturing your authenticity. Money is important. It's not a bad thing to want money. Connection. Deconstruct what it means to be loyal. So staying in long-term abusive relationships does not benefit anyone. Learn what your fears are and how to be brave and vulnerable enough around others slowly. Do not overshare because someone finally is willing to listen to your story. If you are at this place, find a therapist or support group. Express your story through art and writing. So this is very complicated, heavy, important. We tend to be curious about people, even those who do harm to us, who mistreat us. We think that they can improve because we're guided by novelty, extrovert intuition. We genuinely see the possibility and the strengths of others. We would like to believe that, with love, compassion, and support, people can grow into their best selves, but sometimes they're not ready. Sometimes they're more comfortable being harmful to us because they have their own work to do and they're just not there yet. Your role does not have to be the one to change their life, even though we wish that could happen. You are valuable as a person. You don't have to be an emotional punching bag just because you want to be considered loyal. It's not fair for you. Some people might think that you left, you abandoned them, but if you're being mistreated, if you're not getting your needs, wants, basic respect and kindness from a person that is supposed to love you, then it's just the consequence that you're going to have to deal with of honoring yourself. Like, again, wanting to be seen as valuable and valuing yourself should not come at the price of being mistreated by other people. And that's a tendency that I think that NFs tend to do, intuitive feelers. I think we tend to do that. We stay too long. We're too loyal, to a fault. So please, understand what your boundaries are. Limits. There are limits. You can leave. You have a right to leave. You have a right to say no. You have a right to ask for what you need and want, like respect, and identify what it looks like. If they can't offer it, you can go. You have a right to leave and honor your heart and your safety. Another thing for connection is pushing people away, testing them, experimenting with people or yourself, disappearing when upset, knowing when you do this. Be honest with people from the beginning. Apologize and attempt to repair when it happens. If the relationship is important to you, you can apologize and attempt to repair. It makes it healthier and stronger relationship. Understand your need to experiment with people and environments when you want to study people or push limits with your identity. Be careful with people's hearts. Since we can read people well, we can quickly become the ideal friend or partner. And it's not fair to be inauthentic and fool people and then decide you're bored and want to leave. So this is like a big thing. We tend to adapt really quickly with what people want. And for a while, we believe that's us. And it is us, you know? But like, the role is so new that it may not stay for a while. Like, habits take a while to form. And while we're novelty seeking, we like change very quickly. Like any project, we get really excited and we start really quickly and like it sounds perfect. And after a while, the energy dies down. The novelty's not there anymore. And then we revert back to our like lulled state of who we are. And we're no longer the perfect partner. You know, people may feel like we fooled them, we kind of tricked them, or we lied to them, we abandoned them. Like, oh, it's not the ideal anymore. I had some fantasy in my head, or I put them on a pedestal, and now I see clearly what reality is. You know, somebody posted in the ENFP group the other day, like, so if I see that the ENFP partner idealizes me, they put me on a pedestal, what if I live up to that idealized state? Go for it. If you think that they can encourage you to be your best self, like the perfect version of you, and you want to keep them, because after a while, ENFPs may want to leave because they realize reality is not the same as the idealized version in their head. Yeah, you can and do what you can to make it last longer. But also know that you don't have to be perfect for someone to stay with you. That's not really fair. You know, ENFPs do need to work on being realistic and honest with what they see and what they want in someone, and not like a fantasy that doesn't exist. That's not fair. No one's a fantasy. No one is perfect. Okay, so another note on connection is know when to walk away. We tend to stay with people who are mysterious and human Rubik's Cubes. If they are abusive, learn you are worth more than this. You're important. They need help, and it's not your job to fix anyone. I'm going to repeat this. They need help, and it's not your job to fix anyone. Set boundaries and rules for conflict. If these are disrespected or ignored, you can walk away. Like, it's an important thing for me to talk about here and there. I think that in general, people hurt one another. We're not very good at communication. We have lots of woundings. We repeat the intergenerational traumas or the things that our parents or our grandparents haven't healed through, or our caregivers, you know, whatever has been modeled to us, and we repeat it because it's normal. It's our default. Whatever interdependent or interpersonal relationships we have, it tends to just repeat. And then like we see what people need because we're leaning towards like harmony, love, wanting to be liked, whatever your intentions are for relationships. We want to feel important. So like we know that people can be fixed if only we love them hard enough, if only we love them enough, they can grow and they won't be so mean to us. Like, I wish that would be the case for everybody, if we could just love people out of their abuse. But maybe you're not the right person to do it. Maybe they need a therapist. Maybe they need like 3 therapists. Maybe they need a whole series of things, and you're just not at the right time in the right place. Like, you can still love someone and they can still hurt you. You can still love someone and give them ultimatums, and they can still not be ready to change or grow. You know, it's not a good or bad thing, but like if it gets to the point where you become such a small person, you lose your identity, you lose a sense of who you are, you lose a sense of joy, you live for somebody else thinking that you have to stay with them to fix them, then it is a problem to think about, you know. And then you can find your own therapy. Like, you don't have to heal everybody that comes your way. That is such a big burden. Even though you know what other people need to do, sometimes it's just not the right time. It's not the right place. And maybe you met them to plant seeds. So you won't be able to see the seeds thrive or flourish or grow into beautiful, beautiful flowers or trees. But at least you were there to plant the seeds that something can grow within them. And then you see their potential, you know? So another note on connection is, you will feel like you don't belong, even among people who finally accept and see parts of you. Learn to love the parts that are not being seen by others, or you will forever be chasing approval or running away from people who want to know you. Give people a chance to let your guards down, and perhaps you will always feel like you don't belong. Just know that a lot of ENFPs feel this way, and we can be aliens together. There's groups for this, Facebook groups, Discords, find your community. Even though you find people that think like you, are kind of like you, there's going to be a part of us that will still feel like we don't belong and are an alien, Learn to love those parts so you don't have to seek it and chase it out from other people. That's an important message that I hope that you can internalize and one day live as your truth. Connection. When someone criticizes you, take a step back to see any truth in it. Establish rules for taking breaks to calm down and coming back to talk. Identify how you want your needs to be met. If you don't know, how can you expect someone else to care for you? Overexcitability. We crash often. Learn to read your energy meters often so others can enjoy their time with you. For the Enneagram 4 ENFP, please don't hide away from the world for too long after crashing. It turns into sadness and more withdrawal. You need people and people need you. You need external stimulation to function at your best. Go back out there and be the awesome unicorn that you are. And I think that might be a 9 thing too, maybe a 6. I'm learning about Enneagram still. I could be wrong with these numbers. Please let me know which tendency or which number it leans towards more, or if it's all of them. I guarantee that you will be seen as the enemy in someone's story for unknown, confusing reasons that have nothing to do with your being authentic. My advice to you is to build a barrier between yourself and the should worldviews of others who harm you with their agendas. Be respectful and kind. Walk away from those who constantly try to make you someone you are not, especially when they do not try to see things through your perspective. Okay, goals. We will jump around and have scattered careers in the eyes of others. This is normal for us. Keep learning and figuring out what brings you joy and what you're good at. We live the long game. It all comes together, but we must have lived experience. Let people think what they think, but speak your piece. You know what you're doing. You're happy, and it will come together over time. It's your life. With this understanding, I urge young ENFPs to be okay with making money while they live authentically. It's okay not to suffer as an idealist. And like I mentioned about extrovert sensing, extrovert intuition, it's like buckets all over the place. You have to fill them over time until they are full, and then you have the connections and then the bursts of ideas and insights. You have to do this or else the buckets remain empty. People may not know what you're doing, but you have to keep on searching for data and information and confirmations of who you are. Not everyone who lives internally will understand that, but since you were an extroverted person, we have to seek experience to confirm our truths and hypothesis test. Not everyone does this hypothesis testing as much as we do. We do it to an extreme. And so again, not everyone's going to understand that, and that's okay. Just keep pushing or else you're going to stagnate. You have to keep going. Okay, purpose. You are meant for great things and to champion for your causes. People may think you are childish and naive to live this way. Again, let them think what they think and go on with your life. Focus on other idealists who are thriving. Look them up. Find mentors. Stay away from the negativity as much as you can. When you're around negative people, reset by writing, looking at a vision board, that renewal every day to focus on the goal. What's the goal? My goal was to be my best self, to be around positive people, to get away from the haters. Focus on your goals, whatever it is, even the baby steps of, I'm going to make my bed today. I'm going to drink water today. I'm going to eat food today. I'm going to nourish my body and honor my body because that's so important. The basic needs are so important, and we tend to forget because we're stuck in our heads. We're stuck in la la land. We're stuck in potential ideas, fantasy. Ground your body, take care of it. That's so important. And it's a big goal that can do so many more ripples in effect for the future. Take care of your body. You're important, and that manifests in how you treat yourself, your body, the way you talk to yourself, the people you keep around you. All of these things matter. All of these things matter. Okay. Review your goals and remind yourself why this is all worth it, because it is. Your voice is important. Your championing causes are important. Your presence matters. You may not think that, and yet, over time, you'll find your voice. Like when you focus on the goal, you will find your voice and speak your truth. That's the important part. Sometimes you have haters telling you that you're doing something wrong, like you're not living according to their truth. Again, it's just different. Different is not wrong. When you want to help people, why is that wrong? Why would it be wrong to want to help people or causes or help people think differently for something better, like a better world? There's nothing wrong with that. They might not understand because they're scared, but as long as you keep on pushing towards your authenticity, support yourself, take care of yourself, you'll get there. You will. And it is like reframing. Since we're so creative, we can find creative ways to reinterpret what we're doing. Me making my bed, me eating food today, me making another phone call, answering an email, one step closer to the bigger goal, one step closer to the big picture. Because you are a big picture thinker. So like reframe everything you do as that. Like you're the visionary, you're the champion, you're the enthusiast. Find a way to reframe so you keep on going. This is all for you. You fight for yourself. You champion for yourself. Let's see. You are living authentically and with purpose. Many people are fearful and cannot do this themselves, so they will project their fears onto you or try to stop you because they worry. Thank them for caring and keep pushing forward. You have things to do. And so those are my notes on advice for younger ENFPs because it is hard. We're sensitive, and the thoughts, opinions, even the things that people don't say about us, but the looks they give us, the judgment, it weighs heavily on our hearts, and we may pause ourselves, and we withdraw, internalize their judgments and their fears, and we become inauthentic. My support and encouragement for you is try your best to shrug it and reframe as they care. They just don't understand. And since they don't understand, there's no need to defend yourself. You can prove yourself by doing what is right for you. The more authentic you are, the more happy you can be. And the more happy you can be, the greater you can live towards your causes and your authenticity. So it's a cycle. And they can back off after a while and they realize, oh my gosh, they're doing what's right for them. I can see them growing. They're thriving. They're living their best life. And I was wrong, or I'm potentially wrong. They start questioning themselves without you having to say anything. Okay? So I hope this list helped. And of course, there's always more to add to this. So if you have any more suggestions, of course, please comment on the, comment, add tidbits, add more insights into what I said, and, add personal stories because stories matter. Encourage the community to thrive because this is our time to shine. This is totally our time to level up, take care of our bodies, take care of our minds and our hearts, and do what's best for you as an amazing ENFP. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.